Hello, it's Karen Harrison, and welcome to November 2023 Reiki Call. My website is karenharrison.net, and my guest tonight is Rebecca Jesus from Iowa, Nebraska. She kind of hangs out in all those areas, and her website is Zen Sourceful Living, like ZEN sourceful living.com. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. So Rebecca is a friend of mine and one of the licensed Reiki teachers for the International Center for Reiki Training. She is the owner of Zen Sourceful Living in Omaha, Nebraska. She has a passion for teaching and helping others understand their innate gifts and connection with Source. She offers intuitive, empowered guidance in each of her Reiki sessions and classes. Her background and personal journey are in understanding the evolution of the soul and spirit and how it can help to understand and heal karma and ancestral wounds. Rebecca is a lifelong student and teacher of the power of heart and co-creating with Source to bring desired feelings into their human experience. Well, that sounds good. So our topic tonight is Reiki Empowered Mindful Expression. So anyway, welcome, Rebecca. And
thank you.
Can you tell us, how would you define Reiki Empowered Mindful Expression?
Well, I have a question for you guys. Those that are on the call right now, are you guys placed or attuned with Reiki? I'm kind of wondering, it helps me to kind of know the different. Okay, yeah. So Reiki Empowered Mindful Expression. Let's put the Reiki part aside, even if we're not placed or attuned with Reiki. Just mindful expression. I mean, we all know that we have been in experiences in life and had conversations, or I'm a Scorpio moon energy, so I'm a lot of passionate energy. And so when I speak growing up before Reiki, I would always overspeak or speak from reaction or speak from emotion. And Reiki has really helped me, number one, ground and get more mindful about the energy that I'm emitting when I'm speaking. And because I am such a passionate, emotional Italian bohemian, as you see, talk with the hands, and my Reiki's going everywhere. I have learned sometimes in not so favorable ways that when I speak, my frequency of my words, no matter what it is I'm saying, doesn't even matter the words that I'm saying, my energy is speaking first and foremost. I've noticed that when I would speak from a place of a lot of energy, wasn't always grounded, that the animals in my life, such as my pets or whatever, they would be affected, whether they would be really hypered up, or perhaps they were a little lenient and not eating. And God bless them for them showing me, because obviously I want everybody around me to feel comfortable. So I really asked Reiki, how can Reiki flow through me, my energy, so when I do have something that is really important for me to speak, or not, just general conversation, that it can flow through in a way that, one, the information and the intent gets out in a very clear and grounded manner, as well as the recipient and my audience, or who I'm speaking to, the way that they interpret what I'm saying, that it's not coming from a place of reaction or their own past experiences with something like that. So Reiki Empowered Mindful Expression is basically a couple different things. Mostly it's talking about what the information we want to say in a general conversation, that message is direct and grounded, and that it is received in a way that is that the common message gets through. Reiki Empowered mindful expression is a mouthful. And so it's also about manifesting and how we set intentions or prayers, being very mindful with the direct words we're using, because I feel like we're co-creating with the universe. So I'll give some examples later on in this conversation. Go ahead, Karen.
Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, well, of course, communicating well is my passion as a counselor and a marriage and family therapist. That's primarily what I work with people, is how to communicate in ways that are honoring and where the message will get through and they're able to listen to each other without blame, shame, complaining, making the other person wrong. So it sounds like there's a lot of similarity. It's
Absolutely.
good communication skills. Would it also involve, perhaps taking ownership of your feelings and, like being able to claim them rather than say, you made me so angry.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, my family wasn't so good at that. I had a lot to learn when I went to counseling school because, my family, if you didn't understand somebody, it was because you didn't yell out enough, and
Right,
or
right.
you didn't throw something or break a plate over somebody's head.
Yeah, yeah. Reiki's even, it helped me understand it even with that. And this is like a recent cognitive thing, is when we're yelling anyways, because I mean, there's a lot of yelling in my family and from me as well. I'm passionate because we feel that disconnect from the heart. And when we feel the farther away from someone and the disconnect from that oneness that we have, that Reiki brings in, then we tend to raise our voice or louder or amp up our energy. So this Reiki empowered mindful expression kind of helps get back to speaking from the heart as opposed to speaking from even the logical brain as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would it also involve, maybe kind of using what you might term witness consciousness to witness your thoughts and feelings without judgment, not only your own, but maybe someone else?
Absolutely. So, I mean, once and what it actually is, I don't know if anybody's taken Karuna classes here, but one way to activate it is, allow Reiki to flow through you. And then from that space where you're being mindful and kind of just observing and watching, and it all happens so quickly once you kind of practice this and you move from this space and watching. And I realize, yeah, what what I'm projecting or what I'm saying, is it coming from a place of fear or lack or not being heard or this whole backstory that we were healing from? It's actually very direct. So even just starting a class, when I teach classes or even starting this call, I will activate this type of frequency or this type of Reiki empowered mindful expression. And I say something as simple as, may Reiki flow through my thoughts, my words, and my actions. So it flows in a way that is in the highest good and that is received in a way that each one of the people listening here today and on the recorded call, they receive the vibrational information in a way that they're meant to align to hear it. So it covers a whole lot of bases.
Yes, that sounds good. Well, that kind of was reminding me of a movie I watched last night. It was the remake of the Overboard movie, where the man in this case was the rich yacht owner, and the woman, was the carpet cleaner that he treated poorly and then actually
The
pushed
Goldie Hawn.
overboard. Yeah, well, it was the remake. So
Okay.
in this case, it was the man that was the rich guy instead of Goldie Hawn. But there was a lot of it in Spanish, and so I was trying to translate it, but Google Translate would not work that quickly. But by just looking at the hand motions, the facial things, my friends started, making up, translating what they were saying. And it's like, yeah, I bet this is pretty accurate. Like, what are you thinking? Yeah,
Absolutely.
our actions and body language communicate so much. And if we have activated Reiki, then it's more likely to flow through in a way where our message will be heard and understood rather than make somebody feel, backed up and or hurt or wounded, or worse yet, possibly angry at us, and then counterattack.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
we know that. I mean, how often does that happen in the daily date, from work to family to conversations, because we're for X, Y, and Z reasons. So that is such a funny example. I love
Yeah. I know. I thought, well, that would have made a funny video.
that.
Yeah. And then does the mindful expression also involve like listening?
What is glistening? Help me
No,
understand that
sorry.
one.
Listen.
Oh, listening. I
I'm
will say
not
it
listening yet. Maybe you
for
are.
an example, this. Yeah, I mean, the way that it is received, because everything is a vibration. We are vibrating, our words are vibrating, our frequency is vibrating, and then of course when there's Reiki involved, the highest vibration of love is flowing through it all. I will say it does help with the listening and the receiving. We know, for example, in Reiki classes, when we sit there and teach Reiki classes, we are giving information and we're talking about the facts and we're talking about the books and the history, and in the same time our students are sitting there and they're in this vibration of everything's going on and they're trying to remember this and they're getting ideas and they're remembering things from happening, and all these things are coming through. So I do feel that this vibration or this tool does help um receive the information, even like on a soul level, to understand it deeper, maybe later on, because how we leave the conversation or we leave the call and we're driving home or we're doing the dishes and then we're replaying the conversation.
Mhm.
I do feel it does help kind of get the concept, even if it's not in the moment. So yes, I agree.
Wow. Now that makes me think of one of our licensed teachers who has a learning disability.
Oh,
And she said that she really didn't do well with reading,
oh
but
yeah,
she passed a difficult class, like I think it was chemistry or something, by sitting in the front row of the lecture hall and absorbing the energy from the teacher in order to understand the material. And I thought, wow,
absolutely.
I mean, that is really amazing. I never thought of doing that. But
And that makes sense.
yeah, I mean, I found myself, I was recently in Ecuador and trying to do that a little bit as everybody around me was speaking Spanish and not that many people spoke English. And so I would just be observing and listening and catching a few words here and there, and then, making up stories about what they were saying. And sometimes it was more accurate than others, but a lot of times I had a little bit of gist of the conversation, even though my Spanish from junior high school did not assist me very much.
Did you activate your Reiki? I bet that would have changed the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I should have activated some more Reiki to, yeah,
Before, when you
yeah,
want to know.
have it have it translate for me. And then, would the mindful expression also possibly involve just showing some kindness and empathy towards the other person? I mean, that's something I've been thinking about as we're approaching the holidays and having conversations. And do we need to just say at our holiday tables, politics are off limits, or can we just say, um, here's my opinion, what's your opinion? And, I respect your point of view, even though it's different than mine. You
I
know,
mean, yeah, if we activate the Reiki thing, we just allow it to flow through, and then some of those things doesn't even come up, or if it does, it's not as saturated in the stories and the emotions. So that's enough. You're coming up with all these great examples I didn't even think of. Yes.
well, yeah, it's Reiki. Yeah, well, I'm just thinking about that as I'm going to Thanksgiving, and it's like, I mean,
Reiki flow through.
yes, because I mean, with your family and your friends, whoever you're sitting down with, it's likely that you may have some differing points of view on politics, religion, yeah, yeah.
And that's okay, because that's nice to have that, as long as Reiki will bring in the harmony then, so that everybody can have their opinion and share it and express their passion and their opinions, and then it's not saturated by old triggers for people.
Hmm.
I will say Reiki Empowered Mindful Expression in a nutshell is taking the time, of course, being more grounded and being more present. Um, and then it's the language of the heart. And sometimes we may not have the words, or we may not have the articulation, or even the vitality and the strength emotionally in the moment, but it's what needs to be said will flow through in some sort of expression, and again, it may not always be through the voice. I mean, we have telepathy, and we have our energy speaks and our body language speaks. So it's basically speaking through the lens of the heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, none of us are perfect. And I can think of times when, yeah, it just did not go well, like with my daughter. And it turned out the best thing I could do in those moments was mindfully take a time out and go disappear to another room and calm myself down, ground, give myself Reiki, and think about what is really important here. Is it that her dog peed on my brand new sofa and she doesn't want to admit it? Or is it that the relationship is more important, and what can I do? And
Yeah.
I can buy a pet proof blanket for the whole sofa. So
If you don't mind me, if you don't mind me sharing some insight with that, if that's okay.
sure.
So with Reiki Empowered Mindful Expression, an example like that be even so in a situation where there's two individuals involved. So you're saying the words and she's saying the words and all that. But with this energy flowing through, and we've learned this through Karuna energy as well, what is being said behind the scenes, that's the language that needs to come through. So, obviously from you, I want respect. I want boundaries. And then from her, for whatever, and I don't even know what that would be about. I'm not tapped in, but, feeling judged, or I don't even know the
Like she peed on the sofa.
Yeah, but like the meanings behind the words we're saying, that gets brought to the surface, which I think is even more purposeful and so forth. So I
Yeah.
love this. Another way I bring this in, a lot of times, so I use this activating Reiki, and I say my Reiki symbols, or I just say divine love or Reiki flow through my thoughts, my words, my actions. And then when I want to co-create with universe or manifest or whatever the word is that we're doing, because we're doing it anyways. For example, the holidays are coming up. In the past, we always live from the past sometimes, and we think it was uncomfortable or unfavorable or this had happened. You know, the whole purpose is to let it come back to the now and recreate a new experience, and because we would want to be offered that grace anyways if we made somebody uncomfortable or whatever happened. And so coming into the holidays, I believe and think about the polarities of what I don't want to happen. And I will say, thank you, Reiki or source, whatever the word is you use, for flowing through this. And thank you for it being comfortable for all. Thank you for pure love flowing through the light of forgiveness. And so I'm activating that and sending those intentions out there. And it has always worked in ways that surprise me sometimes. Um, the way how it helps other people react, I think, is because we're sitting in this vibration. I'm not one to kind of send Reiki to a specific outcome, because my ego could get in the way and think I want mom and dad to act a certain way or the kids to act a certain way. But I want to honor everybody's space and how they're experiencing life. But the feelings that I want manifested, at least for my journey, my experience, when I send Reiki to that through manifesting or co-creating with universe, it always happens, or something better happens from that. So it's all about the feelings to me.
Well, that sounds good. I think that's something that would be very helpful for all of us to consider as we're moving into the Thanksgiving weekend and the Christmas season and
Yeah,
all the family and friend get-togethers, and they
absolutely.
can be blessed or oppressed.
And we have Mercury retrograde coming along here, I think, in the middle of December. And that right there with communication usually gets the challenge where we can be extra mindful to have Reiki flow through us, flow through our words. That's and get good and grounded first.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's certainly something as a counselor that I see happen. For example, a client I saw today had some grief issues that were recent, and then she realized, oh, this tapped into old grief issues. And the same thing, if it had been an upset with someone, it could tap into old upset, and then all of a sudden it's like the event now explodes into something way bigger than it would be because it tapped into that old unhealed stuff. So
Yeah.
can Reiki help heal that old unhealed stuff so that it doesn't like explode all over in the present?
Absolutely. That person wants it to be healed, or to me, to means healed means to understand it. So absolutely. If they're willing for it to change, then absolutely.
Yeah. Well, how would they do that?
You know, I think the most time is when we get tired of the suffering and then we're like, okay, I'll choose something different. And even that is mindful expression. Universe, I choose a different experience. I choose a more pleasurable experience. I do that when I've had disharmony in relationships. Um, I get good and grounded and like, I thank you, Reiki or source, for flowing through this. I choose a more pleasurable or more harmonic relationship or experience.
Yeah.
And then I keep my heart open and I keep my mind open and I get guided. I mean, sometimes it's just not like a magic wand. We have to do the tools, and maybe I'll get nudged to say some words or offer an apology or even just speak like you do in counseling, how you want your clients to, speak. I feel this, I feel that, as opposed to pointing the fingers. I absolutely use this in oh my gosh, I use this all parts of my life. This has actually helped me create where I am today, as a business owner too. Even the clients that I bring in or the students I bring in, I'll tell Reiki, I'll express, I'll mindfully express. I'll take the time to ground and I'll say, I don't know, I'll have a really great client. We're flowing, we're having great conversation, they're open. And I'll tell universe or Reiki, yes, more of this, please. Thank you for this. And so then I will send that vibration out. And my students are amazing. My clients are just, I come to work and I feel like it's like this. We're just having conversations. And because I've mindfully expressed that, I've allowed Reiki to flow through it. And it surprises me on who that is and what it is. So
Awesome. Awesome. And for those things in us that, we all have like wounded areas,
yeah.
sending Reiki back to that event to help clear out those old feelings and things, using the distance symbol and whatever other symbols you have, particularly the mental emotional symbol and the power symbol and all the Karuna symbols, if you want to take Karuna, holy fire symbol, all those things, sending Reiki back to heal the event and to heal that feeling, if it's anger, hurt, betrayal, sadness, grief, guilt, shame, blame.
All the core original cause.
Yes. The original cause of blank,
Absolutely.
That's a good one. That can help us to be able to be more mindful in the present if we don't have all that old baggage we're carrying around. So,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah. So how did Reiki help you
Mhm.
dive into understanding mindful expression?
A lot of unfavorable life events and suffering and my mind constantly on that hamster wheel. I complain. I watched old wounds where, I mean, I was even tired of myself, plus, seeing family members just, like, I can just tell my energy was affecting a lot. So that was the cultural conditionings. I mean, that's just, we're a product of our environment until we realize it and we're mindful of it. And then it's a choice. So once I started seeing physical manifestations of my anger that were in my skin issues, that were in all parts of my life, I was surrounded by a lot of angry people. But also that anger was my tool to learn and grow and to choose differently. But once I get tired of this suffering, I think I pretty much sent, without knowing what I was doing, sent Reiki Empowered Mindful Expression to source and says, I'm done. I choose a different experience. I only want happiness. I am ready to receive pleasure and excitement and great aligned people in my life. And that is the Reiki Empowered Expression, because it comes from a space of creating it from our emotions and sending that heart signal out, and we speak it into the ethers. And so it is. And it makes us feel more empowered in our life. Our thoughts are so powerful and spoken energy. And then we add in the emotion. I always joke that if you guys play, or if you're around people who play Mario Kart on the game board, I always think our emotions, when I'm in an emotional charged place, good, bad, or in between, take that energy. And that is the best time to breathe and ground, so we're not affecting the lights and the computers and the
Oh, like
pets. Yeah, yeah,
blowing
because
up the
that's what I would
computer.
do. And I would say, universe, Reiki, source, whatever it is, thank you for it. Because I say it in gratitude as opposed to, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, because that's a lack. And I say it in gratitude as if it's happening right now, because we know in quantum physics, all there is now. And the heart space is now. And so thank you for this moment to feel better. Thank you for me to, and it's not about getting through the uncomfortability. It's thank you for letting me learn or know what it is I need to know in this experience now, so that I can clear that karma, so that I can be done with that experience. And I feel that's kind of what the soul's doing here. We're just here to grow and expand. And all of these things, I mean, the pain and the agony and the good stuff is there for our soul's growth and expansion. And I do feel that that's heart expansion too. So I'm really passionate about
Yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Well, hey, can you give us some examples of some of these powerful, like I would call them affirmations that you were
Absolutely.
sending out there into the universe? Like maybe something around having a peaceful holiday.
Absolutely. Those triggers that I've had, we start to, as it gets closer to the holidays, we start thinking about what has happened in the past. And we know what Reiki's here to do, to clear the the byoki, or the negative energy that we think about what has happened, because that's a lot of what we are healing with Reiki. We are always in what has happened, and our body stores that frequency. So this is taking back our power, and just saying thank you, Reiki. Thank you, Reiki, for a more peaceful holiday. And the thing is, I'm a true believer in we co-create with the universe, and it's a co-create. So we speak into fruition, we speak out loud or in our strongly charged thoughts, and we set those intentions, and then we allow it. We just allow, like planting the seeds. We don't go and dig up the seeds to see if it's growing. We just have to keep our heart open to it for it to receive. And that is that fine balance of I think, the game of life, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll see what happens. And if in a moment you're witnessing that I'm getting nervous, I'm getting fearful, or I'm getting, oh, this has happened, then bring in some Reiki or ground or whatever you do to kind of get heart centered, and then reaffirm whatever that feeling it is you want to manifest. And even if it's for you, it's your journey, and what everybody else is choosing their experience to be at the Thanksgiving table, that's their Thanksgiving journey. And if we're noticing we are energetically feeling their stuff, because I'm sure there's a lot of empaths on this call or who will receive this, get good and grounded, place Reiki around you, allow Reiki to flow through you, and then it can still be comfortable. Maybe you'll even invite in the gratitude for what your soul can enjoy about this experience. Because I mean, again, this choice, we can see it half empty or half full. And as soon
Yeah.
as I started realizing this, my complaining and my habits and even my physical health started to just completely shift. And from that place, my life started shifting. And it's just one day at a time, or one experience at a time. But it truly is, I feel, very important that we're aware of what we're doing.
So, for example, we might declare something like, I am peaceful in the midst of, all that is going on around me.
Absolutely.
Even if Uncle Tom gets drunk and falls face first into the turkey.
I know Tom is coming to my family dinner this year. No, I was just joking. But that's the thing. I would only focus, simplify it. I am peaceful. I invite in peace, and not the exceptions, because then we're in that controlling space. We have to trust source. We have to trust Reiki. So I only invite in peace, and that's the openness of how that happens will be, and then have fun with it, because it'll come in fun ways, and in ways that you'll never expect to happen. It truly does, and then it makes life kind of interesting and adventurous and wondrous. To know it's a whole new day.
Hmm. Okay, I'm peaceful in the midst. I'm just peaceful.
I'm
Okay.
just
All right.
peaceful. I am peaceful. Another reason, another example. I did have someone come in, a client or student, I forget, and we talked about this. To me, this is a frequency to me. But she was a female lady who got she was in the Air Force or something, and she got a promotion, and she had to speak in front of her once colleagues. I don't know all the terminology in the Air Force, but her colleagues, and now she got promoted, and now they had to. It went from this um, three-dimensional ranking of they were colleagues, and then she was promoted to a higher officer, and so she had to speak to them, and she was really nervous that, one, because they were colleagues, they knew her on a friend level, and it was like she was one of the guys. And now she got this promotion, and she had this big, very important job and a mission, and she was very nervous because of how people get laid back in that environment of you hang around people long enough, here you are. And she was nervous that she wasn't going to be respected. She was nervous that her mission, her job, wasn't going to I don't know, it was on the line for her. For this, it was really important for her words to be spoken in a way that is confident and received in that way with the respect. So we talked about this Reiki Empowered Mindful Expression, and the vibration she brought in was she was respected. I mean, I'm sure in the beginning she went in with her thoughts thinking, I don't know, and then she heard my voice, I guess, in her head, and so she just let it go, and she allowed Reiki to flow through her, and she was respected, and actually she taught them a few things. She was so pleasantly excited that her soul's mission got even get to do what it came there to do, because she's such a teacher energy. So there's a lot of things that came from her past life, her karma, her ancestral wounds of even speaking as a female in an authoritative way and being respected. Sometimes our voice cracks at that time. Sometimes we manifest a sore throat or losing our voice because of that fear or that past life ancestral karma that comes through mindful expression with Reiki flowing through. What needed to happen was done. It was simple. It wasn't all this extraness, and then we can move forward and do what else we came here to do. So I thought that was I was so excited when I heard that. So I just wanted to share that example.
Okay, well, thank you. Are there any other practical ways that you can use it to co-create our desires and life experiences? Or is that pretty much what you were
That
doing?
was a lot. Unless any of
Okay.
our listeners have
Okay.
a question or anything.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see if anybody has a question, or if you have, some issue that you've been working on that you're wondering how you could use this mindful expression for it.
I unmuted. It's Elizabeth. Rebecca, I wanted to thank you, well, and Karen for having Rebecca here, because it never occurred to me to use, like, to turn my Reiki on while speaking, whether professionally or personally. It just, it's like Reiki's this treatment, Reiki's this thing I do, Reiki's a self-treatment, right?
Yeah.
And so that alone was like, mind blown for the day. So thank you for that.
Yay.
And, sharing the multiple ways in which you are teaching people to use it, because I also, my child, will be 15. He's very energetically talented. He's very intuitive, but he also has ADHD. And so I've already, I'm doing what I can to get him to use Reiki, but I think this is one way in which he can help focus by, just turning his Reiki on when he's in class, when he's having a hard time focusing. And
Absolutely.
certainly, I'm going to try. I do a lot of presentations at work, and so there's always those times where, like, I just did one that was scripted of all things, and it was in part because it involved PR and it got crazy. But you don't realize until you're scripting these things like that, to your point, in the power of the word. And I don't want to use that word, and maybe I want to use this word. Whereas if you're just speaking to your slides and you're not necessarily scripting it, you don't think through as hard what you're saying. And so I really felt the difference, but I was really like, dang it, I wish I'd heard this last week. I would have tried it. The presentation went just fine, but I think I would have been a little calmer about doing it if I had, thought to turn my Reiki on. So thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Oh, you're welcome. Even if we multitask, right? So even if you're driving there, this is my go-to, do 100 things in the middle of the day. And I do try to get grounded. And I do recommend the Tree of Life energy for any grounding or being more harmonizing in the body for those who do have ADHD or even trauma. We tend to pop outside of our body. I love all the Reiki symbols, including adding in the Tree of Life from Animal Reiki. But I send all my symbols to the day. So I'll be driving to work and I'll say, I send Holy Fire, and I list all the symbols that I have to myself, to my day, to all those that want Reiki now, or to this presentation, to this Zoom call, to flow through my thoughts, my words, and my actions. And so it is. And it's as simple as that. And then it's really so powerful and so strong and so helpful on so many levels that right there is enough until we want to do more. So hopefully that helps too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Sending Reiki ahead for your day, for everything that's going to happen, particularly if you anticipate any possibly challenging things happening, or even if you don't, I remember one of my students one time said, oh, it just takes too long to send Reiki. Well, no, it takes too long to clean up the messes that can occur if you send Reiki.
True.
That's what's time consuming.
Yeah, you can save a lot of time and
Yeah.
use that time for even more creative things.
Yes. Does anybody else have any other issues that they might like to share about how they might use this. Yeah, Janice.
Hi. Rebecca, do you have any advice on how to handle a situation if I've got a long-term friend who is sometimes so negative? It's very difficult to have a conversation with her. She's very defensive, kind of challenging, and it's no longer pleasant. And I don't want to drop her as a friend, but I need to let her know, I don't want to be your sounding board. I don't want to be,
Yeah.
I don't want to break up with, or anything like that. But how do I tactfully let her know that she has this impact on me?
Yeah.
And, aside from sending Reiki to it ahead of time and those kinds of things, do you have any advice on that?
Oh, well, first of all, you answered a lot of questions I would have asked first, such as, what do I want from this experience? So one, you already know you want to keep the experience with her because there's a lot of growth there. And it's two, that you are taking the time to understand what you need, boundaries, and you're recognizing all of the things that is energetically draining and all that stuff. So I guess one, activate your Reiki when you have some time. Well, one, I know when you pick up the phone call, she calls, you feel it right here in your stomach. And when she, I don't know if you see the call ID, the first thing you do, do you notice it right here in your stomach when you do that? Like a knot or something?
That's
No.
oftentimes where I feel stressed. So yeah.
Okay. Because I'm starting to feel that right there. And then that's your power center. So that recognizing that, so listening to your body, that's awareness as well. So if her or anybody else, because it could be multiple people in your life that have this, it's actually a beautiful life lesson for your soul. So one is recognizing that having this conversation with her or being around their energy is pulling on your energy, your life force. So number one, allow Reiki to flow through that part of yourself, my life force energy, my power center, because that's actually what wonderful thing Reiki can help you do. And I call it the divine assignment between you and her, or you and the job, or you and the thing. It's a divine assignment for both of you to experience something about yourself through each other. So you're figuring all of that out. You're calling back your energy, you're protecting it, and there's love at the deepest core of this relationship. So even honoring that. Ask Reiki or get connected with Reiki. And when is a good time? Thank you, Reiki, for flowing through to allowing me to align with the best time for me to have this conversation with her. And then, get still or listen in when that is, because that's important too. And then the other part is asking Reiki ahead of time. What do I need to know? What are the highlights? And then just allow Reiki to flow through your words. It's almost like once you get all of that figured out ahead of time, because you can do that on your time, when Reiki just flows through, you will be guided. You'll get good and grounded, and you will be guided to just Reiki flows through your words. Whatever the words come out your mouth energetically, that's what it is. I've done that when I had to do a divorce or explain something to somebody that I was really, really, really scared and nervous of the reaction and the counter reaction. And I just took care of me ahead of time. And then I said, Reiki flowed through my thoughts, my words, my actions. And I probably said all the Reiki symbols. And then it just happened. And then that's kind of the fun part too, because there is such a beautiful learning lesson as well. My voice cracks because of that situation. Does this help at all? Or is there any additional information I can help?
I took lots of very good notes, so I appreciate that. It did. Thank you so much.
Great questions.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sounded like you already had some ideas about some things that you wanted to say to her. And when you activate Reiki and, along with those words, it's going to come out a lot better.
Because I know in the past, when I think about it, it's nice that I can think about it now when I'm calm. But, well, we like to get together for tea and chat and catch up on our lives. And we just did that a couple of weeks ago. And some of the things, are still lingering in my head and in my space, and it's just not healthy for me to hang on to that at all. And so I'll probably be having that discussion with her sometime next year, because we don't get together very often at all. But, I was thinking, typically in my past, I get choked up. I forget, my brain goes blank and I can't think of anything. So, I'm going to work on it.
Absolutely.
Good.
Getting grounded in some nature too helps too, just before.
Okay, well, Rebecca, you had an experience you wanted to share with us.
I do. I
Get
can.
connected to the mindful expression. Would you like to go
Absolutely.
into that?
Yeah, if you guys have and want to do an experience, we can. It's like it's a 2 or 3 minute guided, and then we can allow for maybe 5 or 6 minutes. I'm watching our timer, so I want to honor all your guys' space. This connects you to that frequency. I feel this is a frequency that helps heal that sacral chakra, the heart chakra, and our expression chakra. And to me, those three together harmonizing, that's our higher chakra, the stellar gateway. So if you guys are wanting to get comfortable, I can go ahead and give you that meditation experience. It's just a few minutes of me talking and a few minutes of you guys kind of going quiet. And then of course you can continue this journey on your own as well tonight when you go to sleep or any other time. So okay.
Wonderful. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to take a quick drink of water here. You do not have to be on camera. I definitely want you to be able to hear my voice. If by chance you continue the journey beyond the time of this call, it's been such an honor to share space with you. I'm going to go ahead. For some reason, I like to turn my lights off when I do this. It's kind of lit up, but it just kind of helps me relax in. So get yourself comfortable. Activate Reiki in your room and on you, and I will meet you in just a moment. Okay. Let's go ahead and place our hands in Gasho just to get to the heart center. This beautiful heart space, our heart chakra, is such a balance between yesterday and tomorrow. So it's about being present. It's about connecting to source as well as being fully here in this human experience. It's about the balance of giving and receiving. So I invite you from this space to just take a moment and set any intention for you, something about you. And it can be simple. And I do invite you to bring in an emotion that you would like to create. Thank you, Reiki, for bringing into my body, my energy, my experience, the feeling of breathing it in. And on the exhale, sending it out, knowing it shall be received. And then when you're ready, placing your hands anywhere next to you or on you. And I invite you now to take yourself to a beautiful forest, a beautiful rainforest. It's the perfect temperature. Sun is shining through the trees and gentle breeze. And with every step you take, you can feel the earth rising up to hold you and support you and to receive any extra energy that is no longer needed. Just walking along A sense of peace and joy flows into you. And you know this is exactly the perfect time to take care of you. As you continue to walk on this path, you notice to your right that behind some beautiful lush bushes, there is a glittering, shimmering light that catches your eyes. And your sense of adventure and wonder and curiosity, as you place your hands out and you gently move the bushes to the side, in which you see the most glorious, glittering, shimmering golden light and another pathway. And so you decide to take this new path at a pace that is perfect for you. And you're walking through this light, and you're realizing that your breath becomes easier and the air is fresh and clear, and your lungs feel amazing. And you're able to breathe from the full capacity of your lungs. And so you inhale and you exhale. Walking along, you notice that to your left, down below, is a beautiful, crystal clear stream of water flowing through lava rocks. And as you're walking on this path, eventually the path descends until you meet this beautiful stream of water. You can hear the sounds of the water splashing against the lava rocks as you approach this center point. And when you arrive here, take a moment and be fully in the body. Inhaling that sunshine and exhaling, recognizing and feeling your feet on the earth. And you realize how good it feels to be connected to all the elements, air, the sunshine, the water, the earth. You take a moment and give gratitude, and that is what you are also made of. And you realize that there is a large lava stone that is like a seat where you can place your feet within the water if you choose to do so. And so you get comfortable here. You're back against this stone, feeling safe and secure. Letting the water flow around your ankles and your feet. Perhaps you even run your hands and your fingertips through this water, reminding you of replenishing the waters within you. I imagine that here in this safe space, you close your eyes and you think of that intention once more. Thank you, Reiki, for bringing into my experience the feeling of, and you feel that feeling from the heart space. You breathe it in, and on the exhale, you send it out once more. And to your wondrous surprise, a beautiful rainbow light shines on you. And you allow your whole body to awaken and feel every color of this rainbow. This energy flows through you from head to toe. And it heals and it purifies and it balances any imbalances within you in this life or any other lifetime pertaining to this feeling. My voice is going to go quiet for just a moment or so. Take a moment and fully be in this experience and connect to this energy flowing through you as pure divine love flows through. And then when you are ready, placing your hands back on your heart and one on your belly. Connect to that feeling now. Connect to the energy flowing through you. Remembering how powerful you are in co-creating any emotion, any life experience to feel that way. And we create it from the vibration within us, where everything else is only a mirror of that. We give gratitude to the source of Reiki, the enlightened beings and the divine love that flows through us. May this continue at a pace, at a time, and a way, and a place, as well as intuitive guidance and empowerment for that guidance, and of course, any discernment. May it be at a way that is comfortable and for the highest good. I invite you now to take in one more deep cleansing inhale. And exhaling, coming back fully refreshed, calling back all the parts of yourself, being balanced, whole, and so it is. Opening your eyes when you are ready.
Wow. Thank you, Rebecca. It had a lot of energy in it. Felt like it was kind of washing over me.
Yeah, it's a powerful one for me as well.
Thank you. Anybody else want to share about what you experienced with that?
I really enjoyed it very much. I could feel, I really had the first path that was like a white light, and then the next one was a golden light. Felt really empowered. Mine had to do with more kindness toward myself, and it really helped to like expand.
Wonderful. Did you feel it physically anywhere in your body? Because that'll give you some insight where to give yourself some self-Reiki, maybe.
Probably more in the heart chakra. Yes.
Yeah, received. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Okay. Anybody else want to share? Okay. All right. Well, I guess we are all awash with Reiki. Yeah, that just felt like, woof. And sometimes, when you were talking, I noticed the words just, I don't know, I must have slipped into my unconscious or something. I could feel the energy of it, but I no longer heard the words.
That would be the Reiki Empowered. Yes, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I'm saying, it's vibration.
Yeah. That was cool. So
I just have to say too that I really like your mural in the back there.
Thank you. Amazon, and it's a shower curtain.
Oh wow.
No
That's
way.
I love it.
I love it so much. I have
I
two
love
in
it
both
too.
my rooms.
And like, that is
So cool.
a piece of art. So now that you've told me it's a shower curtain, I don't know. We'll have to go figure that out.
Amazon. I love Amazon. But yeah, this is when I got Animal Reiki class, the Tree of Life energy. I needed to ground. I love this energy. So yeah. And
Really?
the colors.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That's very pretty.
Nice.
We're all going to be shopping now.
I know.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Rebecca. It's been a delight having you on this call, and I appreciate your energy, your love, your passion, and
I appreciate
your mindful expression. And I get to work and play with Rebecca, so
Karen was one of my teachers, so thank you for aligning.
Yeah, awesome. So again, you can find Rebecca on zensourceful.living.com, located in Omaha, teaches up there in Omaha, Iowa area, and online. And my website is KarenHarrison.net. I teach in Kansas City and online, and look forward to seeing you at a future Reiki call or on Reiki Circle. We have online the second Monday of the month and in person in Kansas City on the fourth Monday of the month. So you can get all that information on my website. Anyway, much love to you all. Happy holidays.
Happy
And
holiday.
we'll be joining again in December. Or
Thanks for that.
who knows what? We'll see what Reiki inspiration comes through.
What
Thank you.
fun. Thank you, ladies. Have a good evening.
Hey, all right. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.